Greetings, I'm John Phillips, and this is Up or Down. A measles outbreak at the happiest place on earth. Should unvaccinated kids be allowed inside Disneyland? More NFL players are dealing with painful injuries. Will the league allow the use of medical marijuana to treat players? And do you support the use of firing squads in executions? Details on one state's plan coming up. All this will be judged with a thumbs up or a thumbs down by our panel. They are stand-up comic and commentator Mr. Steven Cruiser and PJTV contributor Scott Ott, who joins us from the great state of Texas. As you can tell, both of them have their thumbs ready to go. Scott Ott's on his body. Steven Cruiser, he's holding his. Oh, no, he has one. Look at that. We sent him a thumb. How about that? Look at that. We're upgrading in technology here.
Very exciting.
Well, let's move on to our first topic, where a measles outbreak here in California continues to grow. The outbreak started in Disneyland back in December. 73 cases have been confirmed. 50 of those have been linked directly to Disneyland. Patients range from 7 months old to 70 years old. 34 of them were not vaccinated. 5 were fully vaccinated. Doctors urge anyone who hasn't been vaccinated to stay away from the park. Cases of measles have now popped up in 6 other states and in the country of Mexico. 5 employees of Disneyland also contracted measles. Employees must now confirm that they have been vaccinated to show up to work. So up or down, should Disneyland allow access to those who have not been vaccinated? Steven Cruiser.
No, Disneyland should build a stupid hippie cage and lock all these dumb parents in there and make them watch old Jenny McCarthy stuff from television. This is ridiculous. This is like, let's have all the medical advancements, the technology, the everything else, and then let's just toss it out the window over here because we're making up a medical theory over it. We've got an ex-Playmate of the Year telling us that this is bad for us right now, so she's going to be the voice of medical reason in our lives. They deserve, no, hippie cage.
I love it when the medical journals and the pediatricians and all the doctors say one thing, but then these parents go, you know what? I'm going to go with the girl who came on after Tom Green.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to, that's who I'm going to take my medical advice from.
Oh, God.
How about it, Scott?
Well, I think the way to, long-term to address this is to start circulating the rumor on internet websites and find some celebrity to advance the idea that vaccines actually cause liberalism. Because then we will have like all those people who are now not vaccinating their kids will all get them vaccinated. But then I guess on the immediate solution, what you have to do is right there at the gate of the Disney facility, you have to have Mickey there with a hypodermic, you know, he's just going to be going, come here, little fella. You know, we got to do something.
I'm surprised it's Mickey. I thought the Chip and Dale were the ones that like to poke people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chippendales are at Disney. I think that's a different thing.
You don't want a shot from Goofy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we asked our fans on Facebook and Twitter if Disneyland should prevent anyone without a measles vaccination from entering the park. Here's what you had to say. 30% said yes, only those with vaccination should be allowed inside. 55% said no, anyone should be allowed, whether vaccinated or not. And 15% said it doesn't matter because I've been vaccinated. Thank you all, I should say, for participating. Now on to our second topic, which involves pot and pigskin. Many current and former NFL players have used marijuana to treat pain associated with injuries they got on the field. I should have cleared my throat while I said that. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he would consider the use of medical marijuana for players if medical experts deem it a legitimate option. With more and more players getting hurt and suffering brain injuries, some researchers say pot can help treat these injuries. So thumbs up or thumbs down, should these NFL players be allowed to use pot? Steven Cruiser.
This is kind of a tricky one. I would say I'm not opposed to the use of medical marijuana for this. So I'll say okay, because they are just, you know, this is like, of all the sports careers, this is the shortest lived. It's a violent sport. It does awful things to a body. But maybe if you're masking those with an effective painkiller, you prolong it and hurt yourself worse. That's what I'm thinking here. So maybe they should just get the full realization, because even now that they're paying attention to concussions and everything, it's not going to make it better. These guys are still getting screwed up. I mean, there may be a few less concussions here and there, but the concussion protocols aren't helping the blown knees, the shoulders, the necks, the backs, everything else. They're still wrecking themselves.
Dr. Ott?
You know, in the good old days when I was a kid, we didn't have a bunch of dope-smoking NFL football players. When men were in pain, they did what real men do, which is drink a lot of whiskey and beer and stuff like that. So I don't understand why these guys feel that they need to have some sort of drugs. No, actually, I think that any substance that is considered by the medical community to be efficacious for the treatment or curing of some sort of condition ought to go through whatever the normal process is for making sure that that is safe. And, you know, if the doctors are currently using opiates, narcotics, and all kinds of other stuff, I don't see what the barrier is with using medical marijuana. Now, if you mean that that's a guy, you know, the guy's got it in his locker and he lights up at halftime, I don't think that's appropriate.
Here's the thing, though. Medical marijuana still has to be better for their bodies than steroids. And it doesn't lead to the other big scandal in the NFL right now, which is deflated balls.
Thank you.
Moving on to our third topic. It deals with the fight over the death penalty. Botched executions and problems with the drug supply have made lethal injection harder to carry out. That's why the state of Wyoming is considering a bill to reinstate the firing squad, the backup method of execution. A bill just cleared the Wyoming Senate. Governor Matt Mead said he's open to citing the bill if it clears his House. So up or down, should firing squads be brought back and used in executions? Stephen Cruiser.
Well, I'm not a death penalty guy, but the firing squads are most effective. I mean, they're quick. Everybody's trying. They're doing this kind of moral argument with themselves. I mean, if you're going to commit to the death penalty, commit to the quickest and best way of having it happen. Okay, and firing squads work. You get a bunch of sharpshooters. One of them has a blank, and he doesn't know, so they all get to go home with relatively scrubbed consciences, and everything's fine. So they work. Gary Gilmore, he knew what he wanted. He got it. It worked.
Look at Stephen Cruiser, the voice of efficiency. Scott, do you agree with Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, I almost hate to give the thumbs up to this because, in a sense, you know, if a guy has committed some sort of heinous murder, rape, something involving children or whatever like that, I'd rather have him die like a hospital patient than like a cowboy. But Stephen is right. I mean, that, you know, if you want to get it over with, a firing squad is a great way to get it over with, you know. So, and I frankly never understood the argument about, oh, well, the guy suffered pain during the final seconds while he was dying. Well, duh, he's dying. And what did he do to his victims? I mean, are we really so concerned that the guy has a mildly inconvenient moment before he passes into the ever after?
Well, we asked our friends on Facebook if firing squad should be used in executions, and here's what some of you had to say. Jamie L. Whitfield said, yes, firing squads and hanging should still be used in capital crimes. Gary Bell said, I think for capital murder, the person who's convicted should die as close to the way the victim did. Brad Essex said, yes, fast, quick, and to the point. Stephen Cruiser's giving that a thumbs up.
I know Brad's a friend of mine. Good kid. Good guy. I like the picture. There was an electric chair. So if you're saying you want to put him in an electric chair and shoot him at the same time, then you're kind of like double. It's the old that's the fry and cry or whatever you want to call it there. Just.
Oh, look, we've got one more. Wes Whittington said, yes, a bullet is cheaper, faster, and more humane than lethal injection, hanging, and the electric chair. So there you have it.
Yes.
All right, moving on to our final topic, which is also on the subject of executions, just a different kind, more of a self-inflicted form of execution. Kentucky Fried Chicken has unveiled its newest extreme creation. Meet the Double Down Dog. No, it's not something you do in yoga, it's something you eat. It's a cheese-covered hot dog wrapped in a chicken breast. It's basically a hot dog version of the Double Down sandwich that uses chicken patties instead of bread. The Double Down Dog was only available for 2 days at a handful of stores in the Philippines. It's not available here in the U.S. Why? Because it'll clog your arteries like the 405 freeway. Would you buy one of these babies, Stephen Cruiser?
No, they also sell whole pig faces in the freezer section in the Philippines. Okay, so there's like, so I'm not gonna, but I do like that. What I love about the fast food places here, you know, they're under all the fast food Nazis who are trying to make the fast food places go healthy. But when given free reign somewhere else, what can we do here? You know, put some cream cheese, wrap it in bacon, deep fry the butter ball, and then just slather it in something else that will kill you. I love when the fast food people run amok. It's fun to watch. It's disgusting, but it's fun to watch.
Are you hungry, Scott?
You know, speaking as the guy who just, I think it was yesterday or the day before, had a tuna fish omelet with bacon, 5 strips of bacon next to it for lunch, I think that this looks okay to me. And in fact, I would bet you that that chicken bun is actually better for you than a real bread bun.
Could be.
You know, I'm happy that Scott gave this the thumbs up, because if he gave it the thumbs down, I was going to confront him about buying the 98 pounds of Pop-Tarts after he moved to Texas.
Check that out on Facebook.
Which
that
there's
was sad.
photographic evidence that Scott Ott bought that many Pop-Tarts. My favorite food, by the way. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Would you try the Double Down Dog if KFC sold it in your area? And what about the firing squads? Is that your favorite form of execution? Leave your comments in the comments section below. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PJTV. I'm John Phillips for Stephen Cruiser and Scott Ott. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great weekend.